Be talking about some preliminary top table data out of the YCS here, and honestly, how bad is this format actually shaping up? Is it about as bad as we expected or worse? Make sure you smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. Now, what you have up here on your screen is going to be data from round 7 of the YCS. They were nice enough to go through to the top 10 tables and show the world what was going on. And out of those top tables, 15 of the 20 decks in representation here was Ishizu tier elements. Now, I can't say that I'm necessarily surprised by that turnover, but that number is frightening at the end of the day. I mean, it's round 7. Most of these people are XO, X1, if that at this point. So you can definitely see how far along, the bridge here that you've seen these particular powerhouse, the new tier 0 deck carrying its way here. And once again, later on this afternoon, you'll see how this will all unfold, but that's interesting. Now, there's only 2 Flandries. Now, I've heard a lot of chatter from a lot of people that either you're playing Ishizu tier elements this format, or you're playing Flandries. Now, my problem with this is there's only 2 Flandries in top, as of round 7 here. There's been 2 more rounds that have passed. We just don't have data on that at this point. But let me tell you, if your anti-meta challenger only has 2 Flandries, that's not necessarily a good thing to really see there. So I understand that, just draw the dimension shifter, just splice out the format, do what you've got to do in order to do well, understandably, but that's a rough turnover for Flandries, considering the fact that so many people have been relying on that deck to be the big metagame, I guess, boogeyman that we've needed to see be the little scarecrow. And we also had Bysteel Ishizu Thunder Dragon. Now, we've seen something similar to this. I actually hope that it's very similar to what Jesse was doing, where you were doing your Dragon Link package, you're doing all of these little interactions with Bysteel, now you've got the Ishizu package built into this, so now you can get those interruption shufflebacks. Remember, while the Ishizu package is an offensive monster as well, it does have that, shuffleback functionality as well, and that's something that you need to not underestimate. Getting the targeting 3 for the shuffleback is actually pretty important, alright? So, do remember, the package can be used offensively and defensively, which I think is pretty important at the end of the day. There was only 1 sprite at this particular point in the tournament, which is, I'm also a little bit weirded out about that. I was hoping that sprite would have a better turnaround. I guess with the laws of Ronin Totem, that it sends the deck back to the Stone Ages, man. Mystic Mine and the Runic cards are very, very good at the end of the day, but I mean, if your opponent's just going to, chain the quick effects to shuffle back the cards that you're going to get on, your Runic, draw power, I guess the problem here is kind of takes away from some of that. Once again, you see that defensive power of the Ishizu deck, getting those spot quick effects to interrupt. Now, one other interesting thing about this was there was a mention of a stun burn deck. Now, is this like Chain Burn? Is this like Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo? Good stuff where you sit on the Fossil Dyna and try to grind out your opponent? I don't know, and I want to know, actually. This was the most interesting thing to me, was what kind of stun burn deck do you have to, what's the strategy with this? Obviously Mystic Mine, still is the big boogie scary man in the room. Everybody, is still scared crapless of, a well-timed Mystic Mine. The problem is now something like Mystic Mine has accelerated the format, 80-fold, and those Ishizu cards are really going to make a huge difference just in how much quicker, how much of these big boards can be made. So whatever the stun burn deck is doing, I think it has to be unique enough to catch people off guard. It has to be unique enough to grind people out. But once again, I mean, normal summon Fossil Dyna, set some back row. If you're, relying on like burn cards to blank out your opponent's zones, I am curious to see what that is. And if you guys have any info, if you guys have seen anything on it, please, feel free to leave a comment down below, tell me, because something rogue like that, getting to this part in the day is obviously got something quite interesting going for it. So that is your data out of round 7 that Konami provided with us. Now I want to talk about a little bit of the little side things, little side discussions for this format. A lot of people are talking about that you might see a Shangri-La deck or two show up this weekend. Now, we did see Shangri-La in the OCG before the new support came out. The deck was kind of starting to develop into a pretty big anti-meta powerhouse. With the Ascended Thunders, the whole little combo lines of the deck would do to kind of, step through these hoops. It was pretty good. Obviously, Shangri-La is an amazing card for zone blanking. Diabolus the Mind Hacker. It was kind of like rank 7 turbo. And I know this is like a dark horse that a lot of people were looking at for this weekend, but I actually do hope one does creep into the top cut, because I think that deck is really cool. I think at this current stage it's really underrated, though a few people have been messing around with it, but right now with the Ishizu tier elements being, 750 stages more powerful than the rest of the metagame, you really got to ask yourself, the questions of, can this kind of counteract what's going on? And I don't know. Now, the Naturia Ishizu deck. Now, I think that the Naturia deck is fully functional. It can do things. I guess the generalized thing I'm hearing is it's Brick Central. Though I've seen the deck play, it does a lot. Your combo lines are really, really cool. I just don't think it can compete with full power Ishizu. I think, unfortunately, that deck needs the neutering to happen to the engine, and we need to see like some sort of power scaling check back for that particular deck to, keep up and function. I mean, it depends on how many buy steel cards that you can open up, how consistent is the rest of your hand. But once again, I mean, you have something like Ishizu tier that's life purpose is meant to, chuckle through and mill and get its job done. It's going to be great. Now, there's no mention of any Exosister anywhere here. I, once again, have said that I think Exosister would be a good anti-meta pick for the format. I mean, you're just going to have to play buy steel cards in combination with Dimension Shifter. Unfortunately, the way your format is looking like it's unfolding here, you're either playing as many tech cards as you can to try to stop Ishizu tier, which means you're going to have to bulk down on, buy steel cards, Dimension Shifter. You're going to have to draw. It seems like it's a heavy hand trap format for those massive interruptions, but once again, when the best deck in the room has a ceiling that is, accelerated so far beyond everything else, you got to ask yourself, if I have 2 buy steel effects and something else, am I going to have enough cards left in my hand to combo up? And that's kind of where our problem, is right now. If you open up not enough, combo, it's just going to leave you in such a bad place. But once again, I do think, looking at Exosister, it does seem like it, for, I guess, a local regional level, I think you can do things, but you have to hope that Ishizu tier is at enough of a point where you can play enough Ishizu tier for it to be relevant, because once again, Rogue will mess you up. Like, still going to be the weakness of Exosister, you're still going to have issues at the end of the day if more and more Rogue just gets in your way. And that's kind of going to be the same thing here with a lot of these other decks that players are, like, yeah, I can do something with this. A good Ishizu player in the right mills, you're going to have a bad time. Like I said, you can only have so many outs in the format. Buy steel and in combination with Dimension Shifter are really about it. I mean, yeah, you have Mystical of the Mind, send them straight to the mine, and, hope that, in the time that you're getting to these draws to, try to facilitate some sort of recovery option, you hope you're getting something. And if you end up not getting, good recovery off of that, then the game just goes down the crapper, unfortunately. And there's not really much you can do about that. So yeah, those are my general thoughts right now for day 1 wrap up of the YCS. Ishizu tier, what is that, 75% at round 7? I can't say that I'm surprised. what is it? Somebody say it needs to be 80%, or is it over 60% for it to be a tier 0 format? I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was a very interesting topic the last time that came up. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment about how much you guys think. We'll have top 32 unfolding. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.